This is the plaintiff, Jill Burnett. She says she rented an apartment from the defendant. And let's just say things did not work out. When she moved out, they harassed her movers, called the cops on them, and then locked her out of the place. Now the low-life landlords are refusing to refund all of her deposit. And well, they don't know who they're fooling with if they think she's just going to go away quietly. She's suing for $1,989, the amount she's owed. This is the defendant, Olga Isro. She says the plaintiff called one night at 11 p.m. and announced she was moving out and demanded her security back. When she inspected the place, it was a filthy, disgusting mess. In addition, there are 10 windows in the place. All 10 of them had holes in them. She doesn't take kindly to be taken advantage of and will defend herself to the fullest extent of the law today. She's accused of lousy landlording. The defendant filed a countersuit for $4,042 for additional cleaning expenses.
All parties, please raise your right hands. Be seated. Come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
Jill Burnett, you are suing your former landlord, Olga Isro, for $1,989 that you say she owes you, $1,100 in a security deposit, and the rest paid to movers and a cleaning crew. You are counterclaiming against her $4,042 in damages to the apartment as well as cleaning expenses. Let's start with you. What happened? And who are the 400 people you brought to? Are these witnesses or moral support?
These are my witnesses, ma'am,
Okay,
yes.
go ahead.
On the 4th of January that morning, I was going to work. I gave her son, Tom, the rent for the month of January. Advised him that I needed to speak to his mom because I was moving the end of the month. Gave him the rent.
That was on the 4th of January?
Yes.
Okay, did you have a lease?
It was expired at that time.
Okay.
I can show you the lease, ma'am.
They have run out already?
Yes.
So
at the
now
time,
you were technically
yes,
on a month to month.
That's the lease.
Okay, go on.
And there's also a rider.
Let me see the rider.
Should be attached to that.
So you signed the lease and the rider had expired and you were there on a month to month. You tell her
Correct.
on January 4th that you're moving on January 31st.
Yes, end of the
And
month.
what happens?
Tom gave her the message. She came back into the apartment upset because I was moving out. She was kind of belligerent
What was she upset about?
because I was moving out.
Yeah, but you have a right to move. Like, what was she
Exactly.
saying to you? That you weren't
She's-
giving her enough notice? Or what was she saying to you?
She wanted to know why I was leaving, and basically that was why I was leaving. I told her that my daughter was coming back to New York to move in with me. I needed a 2-bedroom. I was renting a 1-bedroom from her. That's the reason why I was leaving.
You don't need to, you're free in America and you can leave when you want. I don't understand, but go ahead.
At that time, she said, I don't give a damn about your daughter. You cannot leave.
You cannot leave.
I cannot leave. When I came home that evening, I found a handwritten letter from Miss Israel
Let me see.
apologizing for her behavior that morning. She notes when I gave her the check,
Who's Karen?
her daughter.
Did you take this as an apology or? Because it's really not much of an apology.
no,
I'm sorry that what you told me caused me to lose it. All right, so things are obviously not going well between the two. My choice of words at that time were somewhat inappropriate as you caught me in a surprised state. We were both not listening to each other. Why didn't you simply tell me your daughter might be living with you? We could have amended the lease. So it's a 1-bedroom. She doesn't want to do it that way. All right. In any event, so then what happens? You're moving out on January what?
End of the month, January 30th.
30th or 31st?
30th.
Okay.
January 30th. Karen came back to my apartment about a week after the letter, confirming if I was going to leave or not.
But did you, after the letter, you didn't call her to confirm that you were leaving?
No, because they were belligerent.
It was so bad.
It was bad.
What got so bad? What did she say to you that was so bad?
Well, she barged into the apartment telling me I don't give a damn about your daughter.
Okay, what did you call Tom and say?
I didn't
Look,
call
let me
anybody.
be clear. Okay.
Karen
All right, so
came
then
to
when
my
did
house.
somebody come to the daughter goes to your house?
She comes to my house wanting to know if I had reconsidered, if I was going to leave or stay. So no, Karen, I'm leaving end of the month.
Okay.
So that was basically it. I didn't see them again till moving day.
And moving day was the 30th, and what happens on the 30th?
The movers come 9:30 that morning.
The movers are professional movers?
Yes, ma'am. Here's their paperwork.
Okay.
So Miss Israel sees the truck out there. She starts yelling again.
Where was the truck?
Oh, he's pictures of where we parked the truck in proximity to her cars because she was saying that it was too close. We were going to damage her vehicles. She did not allow the movers to continue.
Oh, that is rather close. Yeah, I wouldn't want a moving truck
There was
3 feet from my car because they're going to hit it when they're going around.
Right now, there's a ramp that comes from the stairs.
Oh my God, look how close that ramp is to the car. This one's even worse. So what did she say? She wanted your truck to move to the street?
Exactly.
Okay,
So
which
she
is
called
what,
the
6
police.
feet away, 7
Right.
feet away? Mm-hmm. Okay, and for that, you were suing for an additional $800 from the moving company for extra time?
She would not allow the movers to continue.
Right.
We had to wait for the police to
No, you
come.
didn't. You just had to move the truck. So 35, 40 minutes, the police get there, and then the police, by the way, do what?
Nothing really. They just watch as the mover would continue.
All right, but you want her to pay the additional 4 hours your moving company charged you, which, by the way, could be because you misgauged how long it was going to take you to move.
Ma'am, the movers came in and they gave me a
Do you have any proof from the movers that they took 4 hours longer than
Only the
estimated
paperwork.
solely because of her?
Why? Because of the
What does the
delay?
paperwork say?
That they quoted me 4.5 hours. I
Right,
paid
and your move
$8.50.
took 8. Tell me where the paperwork says it took 8 because we had to wait 35 minutes or move
They
things
didn't
10
take
extra.
that down.
Of course not, because it took longer. All right, now. Tell me, you have a security deposit of $1,100 that she's keeping. You were out on the 31st, and she tells you, do you ask for your security deposit then, or you do it in writing later? How does it come up?
We were telling Karen, her daughter, because we had to come back with the cleaning crew, as per the lease. She wanted a cleaning crew. So we told Karen we're coming back to save the following day with the cleaning crew. She was also informed. They did not allow.
The following day was what day?
The 1st. We moved
The
out
1st
on
of February?
We moved out on the 30th. We were back on the 1st.
Why didn't you have it cleaned, on the day that you're moving or the day after? Because the 31st is a day that you still have access.
Well, the cleaning crew couldn't come to the 1st, and she had changed the locks.
Right, but she has a right to change the locks on the 1st. I thought your testimony here was that you had come with the cleaning crew on the 31st. This is from your signed statement. On January 30th, I went back to the apartment with the cleaning crew that I hired to clean. That's not accurate, right? You need to change that to February 1st. But either way, bottom line is she doesn't let you in. You have to call the police, right? Because you've apparently also left clothes in the closet. All right. Ms. Isro, what is going on here? Why won't you give her back her security deposit?
Well, most of this started out that she gave me a check for the month of January that I could not deposit. It was not dated, and it was for the month of January, which confused me because theoretically she did pay for January.
Because she paid last month's rent.
Correct.
Okay.
So her lease ended on the 31st.
What ended up happening with that check?
I gave it back to her.
Oh, so so you never collected that rent?
No, I never collected it
But why did you give it back to her?
because I couldn't cash it. I went to
Because?
the bank and
There were insufficient funds?
yes.
All right, they don't tell you that. They go,
excuse me.
can't cash
I
it.
didn't get.
Can't tell you why, right?
No, that's right.
Right.
He said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I cannot give you that information." And I said, "Why can't you give that information?" And he had said to me, "Well, the policy of the bank is that we can't reveal why this check won't be cashed." So that was that.
Was there insufficient funds?
No, the money was there. I've always paid it the whole time I was there.
So then
I paid
what
her in
happened, though? You
cash.
gave her
Well,
back
I
the
have
check.
a copy of the check in my folder.
No, I just want to understand. So you gave her, but if
I
you
gave
know
her back the
I have a
check.
question though. If you were leaving, why did you give the January check and tell Tom at the same time I'm leaving? Because you knew that your notice was sufficient?
No. My intention when I told Tom was I needed to speak to him. I was planning on moving. I didn't give him a date.
Oh, it's just after that you found something you liked.
No. After she came in that morning,
Then you decided.
then you know what? I'm out. You can't tell me you don't give a damn about my daughter. Expect me to stay.
Did you say I don't give a damn about your daughter?
Yes.
So what were you mad at when she said I'm going to leave?
I wasn't mad at her. She was mad at me.
Well, why did you say to her, I don't give a damn about your daughter. You're inconveniencing my
Because
family.
she kept telling me she wants her security back. And I'm trying to tell her that security is given to you after you move out.
Okay.
That's how this all kind of culminated.
Okay.
And with that, she left.
Okay.
Then I left with the check to cash it.
And that didn't go well.
And that didn't go well either.
And so when you
at
gave her
this
back
point-
the check, you figured, she paid last month and
Exactly.
originally.
So now, of course,
Right.
in
So
the
now
letter
January 31st comes. The truck is, I agree, I think it was very close to your cars. When you asked her to move it, was there attitude on everybody's part?
I didn't. I was not aware of the day she would be moving. I didn't even know she was moving on January 31st because I was never informed. I looked out my front window and I see a truck that's in my driveway, and it's sitting between my son's 1986 Ford Mustang and my Subaru. So I walked out and I said to the gentleman who was in the truck, "Would you please move the truck down 3 feet?" And she came running out, yelling and screaming and cursing at me.
Saying what?
And that's how this started.
Saying what?
I don't remember exactly the profanity she was using.
And so why is it you're not returning her security deposit?
Because the damage that she left behind.
Okay,
in the
let's talk about the
apartment
damage that you say she
exceeds
left.
the $1,100 that I have in my possession.
Okay, so now let's talk about your counterclaim and the damage that you say she left behind. Let's go over that. What did she damage?
The cleaning.
Is it true that she came on the 1st with a cleaning crew and you wouldn't let them in?
Yes.
Why?
Simply
I mean, you don't
because-
have to. I'm just
Excuse
asking
me.
you, if she's got a cleaning crew, she's going to pay them. And they're there. Why do you have to cut your nose off to spite your
I
face?
wasn't trying to.
You're just sick of her at that point.
Well, at this point,
You're sick
I
of her.
didn't
She's
need
being rude
this.
to you. She's cursing you out. You don't even want to let her back in. Was it
And she
could
was
you tell it was a professional cleaning crew or no?
Yes, it was professional.
I know. I would have just said, all
However,
right, your
but
cleaning
there-
crew could come in. You not so much. Stay out. I mean, that would
Excuse me.
solve everybody's problem.
All right.
All right. So at
Please,
that point, you're
Ken.
not letting them in. Now, tell me about the damage. That's what I need to hear from you. Tell me about the damages.
First of all, the towel holder in the bathroom was broken off.
Can you show? Is that binder that you have
Yes,
there?
it's in here.
Okay, let me see that binder. Just hand it to my bailiff.
Right this way.
He's right there for you.
Take it easy. You relax. You're good.
Okay.
All right.
He'll do the heavy lifting.
It's a one family with an attached 2-family dwelling.
Okay, so the towel rack was broken, and then this is some garbage that's strewn there. Did you leave that?
I can't see that, ma'am.
Like it's hold on. Can you show that to her?
Yeah, that was me sweeping up the day of the move. That was all I left behind.
You did leave that behind.
Yeah, and I told her we were gonna come back. We were gonna come back with the cleaning crew. The only thing I left behind, ma'am, was that pile that I swept. That was
And
it.
what about this stuff underneath the sink?
That was the cleaning. That was soil and cleaning products. And again, we were gonna go back to pick up. She didn't give us the access.
And then come on over here so that I don't have to keep moving so I can show you the pictures. So here's the stove that needed cleaning. Did you leave the stove that way? And is the answer yes? I intended to clean it when I came back with the cleaning crew?
I cooked.
Right.
I cooked.
Yeah. All right, now here's a series of pictures where there's some molly fasteners that are screwed into the window sill. And according to you, that cost $2,800 to
That's
repair
what
them.
the estimation was.
By Mr. Bonus. Do you really think it's going to take $2,800 to close up a hole in the wood?
According to what
Mr. Bonus needs to change the N to bogus because that's ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
You know
This is
what?
exactly
You pay me a
what-
6-pack and a pizza, and I'll go like this and stick the wood putty in there, sand it up,
Agree with you.
paint it a little bit, right? Did you put the curtains in here?
Yes.
Okay, but these aren't your molly fasteners?
No.
There's a molly bolt in the front.
They slide into
I'll
a
show
hole.
you.
All right, let's see the pictures. Show me your picture. And why didn't you take all this clothes? Is this the clothes in your bedroom?
Yeah, because we were pressed for time with the move.
I mean, this is just literally this one closet. You couldn't just take everything and...
Those are the same windows. Same windows. Look.
Yeah, but these are the molly fasteners she's talking about. You see how that's on the wood molding? It's right there. It's these 2 holes. Did you have a curtain there?
I had a curtain there. Yeah.
Okay.
Right there.
Yeah, that's the piece that so you left it like that. And then when she took that little metal part out, that's what's behind. So you're agreeing. It's just that I don't agree that it takes $2,800 to fix that.
And this is the kitchen. These are the floors. And she's saying that I gouged and everything and left everything trashed. No.
Show me the gouging of the floor in here.
It's difficult to see it.
Yeah, I'll say.
It is because of the reflection of the kind of
Right.
finish on the floor.
I do see that gouge. All right, go ahead and go back.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, who's more abusive, landlords or tenants?
I said tenants.
Why do you say?
Because they destroyed the place. It's not there, so they destroy it.
Fair enough. What do you think?
Tenants.
Really? How come?
They don't own the place. They could care less.
I've been going in the back there. What do you think, sir? Landlords or tenants? Who's more abusive?
Well, I think it depends on the situation.
But if you had to generalize.
The neighbor in worst case neighborhoods, obviously it's the landlord, but there are some cases I'm sure where families abuse the property.
Fair enough. Going inside the courtroom.
Let me explain something to you. Let me explain something to all of you. Number one, no one has to live in your place.
Correct.
If they want to move, they can move. And you have zero right to get an attitude over it. There's just no reason to be hostile like that.
Excuse me.
None. No, there's no excuse you. You excuse me. I'm ruling. You don't get to talk anymore. That's how it works. Okay? What you need to understand is that no matter how nasty someone gets with you, it doesn't excuse you from your obligations. You can leave when you're on a month-to-month. All you got to give is 30 days notice. Okay? But when you give notice on the 4th, you are not complying with the law. And that alone would mean that you would have to pay February, which if you knew before you got here, and I think you did, then you probably shouldn't have bothered to come here. Because now we have this counterclaim and we need to go through each aspect of the counterclaim. So now let's discuss the things that she's suing about on her counterclaim. She's suing for $260 for cleaning, which we have now established was something that you were attempting to do on February 1st. She's suing for the towel bar. At least she didn't mention anything about the tile. But the towel bar, unless you have proof that she misused it, that's the kind of stuff that happens with normal wear and tear. At some point, there needs to be some maintenance on it. So that's not something that I'm going to order her to pay. For the scratches on the floor that you say are worth $350, other than just ginning up a bunch of bills, I need to see evidence of that. I see what I think is a mark on the floor in the middle of the floor in one of her pictures, ironically. But if that was there when you were taking pictures, you would have been able to see it. So that may not be a scratch. I've got you suing for, let's see, window washing that hasn't even happened, that you claim is a necessity and that therefore she must pay for. All you did was get an estimate for it a week before you were being sued and brought to court, 4 months after she's vacated. In May, you come up with carpet cleaning that is necessary.
That was part of her agreement on the rider, that the carpet should have been part of the apartment being cleaned before she left.
Here's what we're going to do. She has a right to not let you in on the 1st. Your lease is over. At that point, you have no right to go in there. The police were called, you got your property out of there, but she doesn't have to let you clean after your payment is over. You have a right to have a clean place. So I'm going to award you the $260 for the cleaning fee, and I'm going to award you $100 to close up the holes on all of the places that there are holes, which is certainly not $2,800. The towel rack and tiles are not her responsibility, and the rest of the stuff I just don't believe needs doing and wasn't as a result of her move, or we would have seen estimates for it long before 1 week before the trial. So I find in favor of the defendant, net judgment in the amount of $360. That's my judgment.
So the plaintiff wound up attracting a countersuit and loses on the countersuit $360. Is this your chance to say something about the case if you'd like to do that?
Oh, this was a delight. Thank you.
It was a delight.
Yes, we appreciate it. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Anything out of you? Anything further on the case?
Yeah, I think we did everything right. And sometimes the law is just, it doesn't work out right. But we did everything right.
The law is the law. It works against you sometimes, but the law has to be followed.
I guess so.
You understand that. Okay, right down this way. Okay, so the landlord comes out here. You wind up winning nowhere near what you sued for on your countersuit. Satisfied?
That's fine.
You wouldn't have countersued if they hadn't attracted it out of you.
It was an honorable
Decision. Harvey?
Okay, FYI, the plaintiff brought a lot of witnesses in the case, but it's not a numbers game. You don't count the number of witnesses, it's the quality of the testimony. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.